Hi everyone, this is Vishal. I go by Explorer on Discord, and a couple of weeks ago I came to present my application Helium Hiker. Again, it was mainly sort of a application where you can look at the data from like a monthly earnings perspective. But last week was a big announcement, right? And the HIP 15 and 17 went into the production, and one of the key question that came up was like, hey, why the focus shifted from challenge path to more towards the witnessing the challenges, right? So I thought it was good to maybe present data in that way. So what I did is went ahead and created a dashboard on the Metabase instance on DY and integrated sort of into my app. So I'll just quickly dive into that app and quickly take my favorite example as well. And what you can do is, again, if let's say hotspot name you entered is invalid, it will directly tell you that it's invalid. Um, so that's sort of a check that I built in as well, which kind of not available in Metabase. So once again, you can enter name in any way with like caps and small letters with spaces as well, and it does take care of that. So for example, I'm just entering, and I think I saw that on the Explorer, it somehow shows up like this. So yeah, user can enter information or particularly their hotspot name and click on the challenge analysis, and it will shift the page to the challenge receipt analysis dashboard. So once it loads, usually faster, but yeah, when you're doing demo, it's always somehow end up being slow. So yeah, I mean, this dashboard, what it shows is a bunch of things, right? Again, it tries to explain what this is, but and what block I'm using, because again, data is staged at some certain point, but it's still like within accuracy of 15 to 30 minutes. Um, so there are two parts to the dashboard. The very first part talks about your hotspot, the one you entered as a transmitter of the beacon challenges, and like how many challenges were pass or fail. Fail just means that there were no witnesses. So in this case, it looks like that there were cases where there were no witnesses. Um, and in the second chart here, what I have here is um, if the challenge was passed, that means I at least had one witness. Even in that case, it is possible that I have many invalid witnesses and only some valid witnesses, and that definitely affects the earnings as well. And more than that, right? Again, if you're seeing some of the witnesses as invalid, what does it mean? Can we take a look in detail? What does it mean? So this is kind of just shows over last 7 days, I think, because I have adjusted the number to 6 days as default. So it takes 6 days and today, which is 7 days. But you can change it. So let me maybe change it to 4 days. Uh, it will refresh the dashboard, and now it will just show the last 4 days and today. So 5 days. Uh, so yeah, it shows that data. Um, and the once this is like a high level summary. As you can see that on December 22nd, I had 11 invalid witnesses. And then you can dive deeper into like, what are my top valid witnesses versus invalid witnesses, right? So in this case, looks like that this particular hotspot has witnessed 9 of your challenges that was beaconed by your hotspot. And again, it's all hotspot listed here, just in a descending order of number of challenge they witnessed as valid. And the other side of the table, I have the same thing, but for invalid witnesses, when how many challenges they have witnessed as invalid. I mean, again, it is possible that hotspot may show up in both. I haven't done that work yet. And I'm just trying to provide some other information as well, along with the witness. So what was the max and min SNR, and what was the max and min signal for those hotspots? That was a top valid witness, and the same thing for the invalid witness as well. And if you really want to go at the transaction level or the challenge level, you have an option to do that as well. So as you can see that, like, these are the failed challenges where I don't have a witness, but in other cases where in this case I have at least two witnesses, one is true, one is false. So and you have an option to directly go from here to the explorer at the transaction. So it shows pretty nice maps and stuff as well. But you'll be able to see that in this case, this is the hotspot that beaconed. This one witnessed, this one didn't. Or I think it says invalid witness. And I believe that the more information about why it is invalid probably going to come soon in the data. So probably something I can integrate it once I have that information available in the ETL instance. I did hear today that it was available through API. So yeah, I mean, this is the first part of the dashboard, which analyze your data or your hotspot based on transmitting the challenge. And the second part of this dashboard looks at it the other way, where you are really witnessing the challenges from the other hotspot. And that's actually key as well, because it's not just about transmitting the challenges, it's about how many more challenges you can witness as well. And how many times your hotspot is being marked as invalid as well. So in this case, it looks like there were 29 challenges. Again, its number is going down. I'm not sure why, but uh, again, it kind of shows that what has been today versus yesterday, and similar to how we had before. But in this case, the top one shows you how many different hotspots were invalid as witness to your challenge, hotspot challenge. This one is your hotspot failed as a witness for the other hotspots. So yeah, quite a few it looks like, but that's what it shows here. And a very similar thing what we had before, right? But in this case, this is the top transmitter for top transmitter hotspot for you witnessed as valid. So in this case, looks like the short inky platypus, um, you were, or this particular hotspot witnessed 6 challenges as valid witnesses. And again, it does show for the invalid witnesses as well. And it kind of goes into the detail about the same. But again, these are individual challenges because it just shows for the hotspot as a witness. So these are all unique challenges. And again, you have the link there as well to do the same thing. Now, if let's say this is where you are not a lone wolf, but what if you are a lone wolf and only thing you have is just your hotspot? In that case, I believe only thing it would show is just a failed challenges, because there would be no witness around. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I quickly created this over the weekend. I think it was, for me, it was really helpful to understand the data and look at it from this perspective, and thought of sharing with community, because I think it can help a lot of people. And I've been seeing like a lot of questions on Discord as well regarding the same. I believe once we have more information around why witness is invalid, it could help more. But yeah, the data that I'm provided in this dashboard can definitely help users figure out what's going on with their hotspot in terms of witnesses.
No, this is great. This is fantastic. Um, do you mind fielding a couple questions for us?
Yeah, absolutely.
Real quick. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, you got it. I'll jump in. I got notes.
Okay. Okay. Can you just give a real high-level view for if someone goes in and asks the question that is asked so many times daily on Discord is, why am I not earning? How would someone look at these charts and kind of interpret that to answer the question there? I know that's very broad, but I know a
No,
lot of people are probably wondering this.
no, I think so. And that was the reason for me to kind of create this dashboard so that people could self-serve and maybe look at the data before reaching out, right? So a couple of things. I mean, there are things you can do. Look at overall number of challenges that you have been transmitting over day by day, right? Again, that could kind of provide you some sort of guidance. Like if your earning was, let's say, 10 and it goes 20, most likely that's because you probably did pass a lot of challenges. That means you had valid witnesses. The other, again, in this case, more red you have, your earnings are going to go down because you have invalid witnesses. And with HIP 15 and 17s, the way the rewards are distributed, even if you have witness which is invalid, they are kind of eating your share for the reward. Um, so that's kind of how it works, right? So look at the number of challenges, number of witnesses that you are validating. But again, the key thing is this is just one part of the equation, because I think the challenges are not going to be that much that your one hotspot will be transmitting. But let's say if you have 10 around, you would want to witness them as well, right? So the other part, the second part of the dashboard is very important to look at and understand that how many challenges have I witnessed, and more than that, how many that are green in this section, because that's what's giving you the HNT reward for doing the POC.
Make a suggestion. Like a suggestion? Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, right on this page right here where it shows like max SNR. If you're to cut that down to like 2 places past the decimal point, it might be easier to comprehend. And because really, I don't think 20 places really matters. And the other thing is, could you possibly for those sites where it's not valid, highlight, maybe change the color of which of the metrics it is that fell out of compliance, so this one knows it's because my the signal or whatever. Would that be practical?
I think currently I do not have a reason of why it failed, right? But once I have the reason, I
Okay.
can try and provide that reason here, right? Again, it could be many reasons as well. It cannot be one. So I can
Okay.
try and find the top reason why it failed and kind of arrange it that way. But it's going to be tricky. On your first recommendation, yeah, I can definitely cut the SNR. It just been working on it, and I was like trying to put as quickly as as possible. So yeah, haven't had a chance to do everything, but yeah, every suggestion is welcome, and I'll definitely take a look at that.
It'll give you more space to work on to make the other columns bigger or whatever too.
Yeah, no, even this number of challenges, right? I had like some long header before and it was like not working because.
Yeah. Nice. I like the product. I really do. Thank you for doing for the community. That's really very helpful.
No, definitely, because I personally think this is helpful, but I did want to get the feedback. So that's why I was reaching out in Discord, and people were trying out and saying that this is helpful as well. So it's definitely a good feedback, and any other question or feedback is definitely appreciated.
Yeah. My last week, you did this on the DY database, and my friend reached out actually sending me links to this, being like, hey, check this out. And like he would start talking about stuff. And one of the things he was using this for was to determine whether the hotspots around him had good antennas or were placed in locations where it was where they were like sort of, not behind a bookshelf, right?
Yeah.
And so his sort of feedback there, which I realized the actual difficulty of is probably a little more, but alongside the max signal, min signal, and all of that is to actually include the distance, because he was actually sort of cross-referencing hotspot names to the map to sort of determine like, all right, these people are close to me, but the SNR is like very low, or the RSSI is very low. So my assumption, in those scenarios is that somebody has got this thing, stashed behind their computer or something. Does that track?
I think I'll take a look at it. I don't know if the distance is available. but I will definitely try and look at this to see if distance is available, because if it is, right, I could definitely put it in this table, and I'm
Yeah.
sure it is going to be helpful.
Yeah, my guess is it would have to be computed, which
Yeah.
that's where I started at with. I recognize the overhead for an ask like that, but it was an interesting insight that he brought, sort of doing his own deep dive into this data.
Would you want to be talking about, Joey, when you talk about distance, are you talking like in meters, miles, or are you talking how many the distance in hex cells?
It could be any of them, any sort of standard measurement. Really, if it's 10 miles away and my RSSI is negative 119, that's kind of understood. But if it's 900 feet away and it's negative 119, well,
No, I
that tells
agree.
a different story. Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing we should have the distance there. I think it's a great idea. I was just curious of
Yeah.
what unit you
Oh
want.
yeah, no, it's really just it's an ability to get a sense. So like I said, my friend wasn't he wasn't going on the map and like measuring distance on Google Maps and then comparing, but he knew like the couple of hotspots around him. Um, so he could sort of like infer like who were the better performers.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, right now, I would say that this is still like a first stage, right? That one of the problem I saw is that I don't think it is available anywhere right now, is that the kind of a consolidated view where it can show you that, hey, these are the number of challenges your hotspot witnessed or the beacon, and what was the success ratio on it, and kind of consolidate the data. So this is still kind of a first step. This
Oh yeah.
kind of helps you find out what the problem is. You probably can take a couple more steps to figure out what really the problem is and how to fix it. So we're not there yet. And I don't know if we have the data right now to do that yet.
Right. Yeah. And I probably did a bad job of sort of sandwiching the compliments around the feedback. He pulled a lot of other stuff out of this dashboard, and that was his one thing. He's like, man, if that was in there, that would be like this cool thing, and it would give him that extra insight. So yeah, no, hands down, like it's very
Yeah.
useful seeing all this stuff
So
together.
one thing though, Joe, I would say is that, again, I know it's not directly possible in the dashboard, but right, as I mentioned, there are hashes and links that you can click, right? So for example, any failures, you can click on it, and that will open up the Explorer, and you can see on a map where those the hotspots are.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
that's one thing I think they can focus on, but it has to be at like a transaction level or the challenge level. It would not be the
Sure.
yeah.
And if you want to try and query it, this will be a challenge for your platform too. Look up bent mocha caterpillar and see if it can handle it.
Oh, sorry, which one did you say?
Bent mocha caterpillar.
Bent, B-E-N-T.
Yeah. So full disclosure, this is one of the ones that's two hotspots with the same name. So.
Oh, I see. Okay,
So
well,
might
let's see
gotcha.
what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hopefully it should work, because
It'll probably
well,
resolve one of them, but yeah. Yeah. Let's see, there's some names in there. Oh,
it is
yeah, it
it
got the
is
newest
possible
one.
that okay, good. I was
Yeah.
going to say that it may pull the data for both if both are transmitting challenges.
Well, I'm not familiar enough, but I don't think it is. So yeah, cool. Way to go.
Great.
And Joey, you're talking about collisions in the namespace
Yeah.
for the 3-word names on hotspots.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this would be handled, because the way I have designed the data in the backend is that I'm using the address, not the name. I'm just like trying to get the name from there, but hopefully from the address perspective, it should work.
Yeah. Interestingly, on like Sitebot, when this happens, it just thinks the thing doesn't exist anymore. So.
So Travis, I have a quick question on the data that Vishal just presented. I've seen some hotspots show up both on the valid and the invalid side of it. So is there a metrics that we can think about in terms of the max signal, min signal, and min SNR or max SNR that is actually making it valid versus invalid? Is there a place where we can access that information? To put it in another way, what makes a signal invalid? What metrics in these four?
I do not know. I think I would probably wait until that data is available.
Yeah,
I know that for
uh,
now it's just a invalid versus valid, and I know that Helium is working towards adding a reason for it. I think that would be helpful. If there are specific examples, we can try and take a look, right? But it's really hard to say because, at least from my perspective, what I've seen is that sometimes, again, it's not like there are any max or min signal or max or min SNR that you can correlate to in terms of failure or success. So that's kind of where it is. Like, for example, let's say this proper caret Wolverine is on both sides. It would still just pull the max and min and the of signal and SNR of the fail challenges here and the pass challenges here. And maybe if there is a difference in there, that can probably indicate something.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was just asking Travis if there is a documentation that we can look at in terms of to understand when a signal is classified as an when a witness is classified as an invalid witness, just to understand from a metrics point perspective. Now that we have this dashboard, is there something that we can look at to understand why this particular witness was classified as invalid?
Got you. I'm not quite sure if there's documentation on that at this point. I know that as far as your RSSI, I believe uh, it will be valid down to 130. I believe is cut off. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think 130 is the number right now.
Okay.
But that's just one factor. Understand?
Okay, so it's a variety of factors in combination with RSSI and SNR together.
I think so. It would have to be.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. There's a combination there, but I'm not sure if that's documented at this point. I'd have to defer that question. So.
Okay, thank you.
So by just looking at this, right, it looks like that uh, this particular hotspot where it's invalid, it has received a lot more challenges even combined than for others. So maybe they are located very nearby, or yeah, it's quite possible. Okay, great. So yeah, thanks everyone. And do let me know if there are any question or concern. I am available on Discord as Wishplorer, and I think it's available here as well. So
And thank you so much for doing this presentation and for doing the development here. This is fantastic. Do you mind putting the link down in chat so everyone can check this out and take a look at it?
yeah, absolutely. And yeah,
Cool.
I'll just put a link to my site. So it has the other one available as well,
Excellent.
in case anyone is interested for that. Let me just stop the sharing here.
And we have the first part of your talk from 2 weeks ago on our YouTube over at the Helium YouTube, and we'll get the other one up and published shortly. So if you missed those for any reason, please check those out and catch up because they were great talks.
Hey Vishal, I'm trying to use this and I'm getting a error. It says uncut type error cannot read property metabase I18N debug of null. I'm on Brave browser. Would that have anything to do with it?
It is possible. I'm not really sure. So if you can send me the error message, I'll try and take a look.
Sure, I'll send it over on Discord.
Yeah, great.
You're already breaking things, George?
Yep. Middle name.
Well, okay. With that, if anyone has anything else they'd like to talk about, I know we're coming around to the end of the year here. We gave away 2 boards on the last call, but they are currently not in stock over at Parley. So as soon as those, but I did have him a set of boards aside for me. And so as soon as those are restocked, those will be shipped out to you if you want boards. on the last call. And I figure we might as well give one away today as well too. Vishal, it's your call, man. To if you've got a question for the audience here, and what we'll do, because there was an issue last time, just use chat for the answer to the question. But if you have some type of a question about the presentation or about the call or about anything you want to make up, yeah, we'll give away a GPS mapper, a cube cell mapper, once those are available.
Oh boy, I had to think of a question now.
Sorry to put you on the spot there, but yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Well, you know, it's funny. Like, let's just talk about it. So my site's name is Helium Hiker. Anyone want to guess why?
You like to hike?
Yes.
Okay. And you carry perhaps you carry a tracking node with you when you hike around. I don't, on Helium.
Haven't tried that, but I can. Yeah.
Okay.
Good
Well,
idea.
you like to hike and you work with Helium. That's all I know.
Yeah, no, definitely. Those two are the things. But yeah, I'm really terrible with names. And it was like, anytime something comes up, I was like, what should I name? I was like, just put hike in it.
It was random.
It is random.
It is.
It's good.
Okay, and well, just to be fair here, I did specify rules that the answer needed to be put in chat.
Oh.
We have past this now.
The reason I specified the rules is because we had the same problem last time. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, I've losed out because I wasn't paying attention to that. Oh well.
But
It's another 2 prize week.
yeah, I think it's gonna have to be another 2 prize week, Joey.
Oh.
So yeah, I'll go ahead and get boards out once they're in stock to Vinod and Gerald. So
Thanks.
Congratulations, you
Well,
won tracker boards.
That's exactly what I was looking for. Great.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We got to get you mapping.
Yeah. So congratulations, folks. And if you just DM me, I have DMs on Discord. Just DM me your mailing address and what information there, and I'll get those shipped out as soon as they're available over at Parley Labs website.
Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for being a part of the call today.
Yeah. Ping us when those come in. We'll get you all set up in the coverage mapping or sensor channel.
Cool.
Yeah.
Great.
And it's not going to be too difficult. You should be able to load Jason's firmware on it relatively easily. And have that thing up and going.
I've just been I've been rather lazy lately. That's all. But yeah, I expect with the instructions, I'll be fine. Thank you. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, with that said, we are nearing the top of the hour right now. If there's any business that anyone wants to bring up or any questions you want to discuss before we jump off here, unmute your mic, jump in.
If anyone wants to give me feedback on the mapper project or cargo or anything like that, I'm still trying to hear folks' input, but we are starting to get close to sort of talking about prototypes. So maybe it'll be a interim thing as far as that goes. So ping me on Discord, Joey.
Very cool. I'm sorry, I'm getting some news right now about the new Helium developer kit that is going to be announced very shortly. So I'm just going to tease everyone with that information right there. So I think a number of people here have kind of explored on this platform. I've discussed it. We're going to be building around the whiz blocks. And if you don't have one yet, you can get those through Parley Labs, as Joey mentioned earlier. And they have a number of sensors, boards, cores, and I/O modules that are available. If you have any questions about those, there is a rack WizBlock Slack, or just jump into Sensor Dev on our Discord, and that's where a lot of the in-node development chatter goes on. And if anyone here isn't on Discord at all, What's wrong? Get over there. Just go to chat.helium.com and it'll kind of kick you over to the right place. And it's a very, I would say, very, very active Discord. There's people all times of day and night talking about something or another over there. So if you have questions, that's pretty much the go-to place. And if there's no admins or moderators around, someone will be around to help you out. So we've got a great community built up. I want to thank everyone in the development community here at Helium. It's been just fantastic watching, the number of hotspots grow, the number of, nodes on this network, people actually using, having real world use cases for projects they're developing. The breadth of projects that we're seeing on the network is fantastic. And I just want to send out a heartfelt, thank you to everyone here in the Helium community that's making this network what it is today.
It's been a rough 2020, but it's been a good one for Helium. So it's been a highlight all the way through.
That is true. And everyone stay safe. Have a fantastic holiday season. And if you're available, if you are able to see family, just appreciate them. Have a great one.
Yeah, Travis, I know that you'll be putting it on YouTube because someone was requesting it. So yeah, I know that not everyone can join the call, but I know that people are going on YouTube and watching it. So that's why I was like, I'll just go ahead and present it. It's helpful for everyone.
Absolutely. And I've noticed there have been quite a few views of the one that we got up from your last talk. And so I know people are very excited about what you're talking about, these dashboards, and being able to better interpret the data that it is available, but not everyone has your mad skills on dashboarding. So thank you very much for coming in and spending your time both developing and presenting this to the developer community here.
Yeah, no, thank you.
So with that, we're going to call it next week, same bat time, same bat channel. And I will see all of you then. Have a great holiday and take care of yourselves. Adios.